One of the most common questions I get all the time from my athletes is, hey coach, I have this tryout coming up. Do you have any advice for me? So since I get that all the time, this video is going to be 5 tips on how to ace your next tryout. My first tip would be do your research and always be prepared. And what I mean by that is try to find out what's actually going to be tested at the tryout. Is there going to be a fitness test? Is it going to be mostly drills? Are you going to do one-on-ones? Or are you just going to play normal games? The last tryout/trial I had to go to was the MLS Combine. So I found out from someone that's already been there that you're going to do the 30-yard dash. You're going to do a 5-10-5 pro agility. They're going to test vertical jump, and then you're going to play 3 games. So the way it was broken down is you got there, you did your testing right away on day 1, and then you played your first game that day, right after. Then you have a day off, you played your second game, and then a day off, and you played your third game. So 3 90-minute games. So me knowing that way ahead of time definitely helped me. I prepared for the tests. I knew going in, so once I got there was no surprises. So it just let me relax mentally because I knew what was coming. So I knew the format already. I reached out to someone that's already been there from last year and they let me know everything. So my recommendation is if you're going to a certain tryout, reach out to someone who's already been there or reach out to someone who's already on the team and maybe find out what most likely is going to be tested at the tryout. Does that mean you're going to ace the tryout? No, but it does help. It gives you peace of mind because you know what's coming so you can prepare for that and be ready. So that is tip number 1. Do your research, find out what's going to be tested at the tryout, and be prepared. Tip number 2, and this might be the most important one. You are there for you. You need to focus on yourself. Don't be worried about making friends or making other people happy. At the end of the day, everyone you're meeting at this tryout, the other players and athletes, they don't care about you whatsoever. So focus on yourself. This is your journey. Don't be worried about making friends and impressing the other players. You have one job. Whoever's holding the tryout, whoever you're trying to impress, you're focusing on that person and yourself. What do I have to do to make that person like me enough so I can make this squad? Focus on yourself. That's what I would say. Screw everyone else that is there. Make friends after when you actually make the team. When you're there, focus on the job, focus on what you have to do to get it done, and make sure it happens. Focus on yourself. Tip number 3. I'm going to relate this specific to soccer, but again, this can relate to all sports. Get on the ball / make a play early. Most of the tryouts that I went to, we'd play 11v11 and play a real game. And I knew if I got on the ball early and I made a play right in the beginning, it was over. I'd be super confident, I'd be relaxed, and I'd be ready to go. On the other side, if that game drifted on and we're 15 minutes in, 20 minutes in, 25 minutes in, and I haven't touched the ball yet, now you start thinking, like, it's been 20 minutes, I haven't touched the ball once, do they think I'm no good? You start panicking a little bit, but if I get that ball early and I start knocking it around, you start to relax. Like, I played center mid, so I'd literally run from center mid. I would run to the outside back. I'd get the ball off his feet, and I'd swing it to the other outside back. Something simple like that. But just touching the ball would relax me. So little things like that, like getting on the ball early, making a play here, making a play there, early on in the game, early on in the tryout, definitely helps. So I'd be active in the beginning. Just go get the ball, get a touch on it, give it to someone else, and then do your thing. So tip number 3, get on the ball, make a play early. Tip number 4, and this can kind of go with the last one of making a play early, etc. Tip number 4 is going to be make an impact, don't hide. And this seems kind of obvious, but some people kind of tend to shell up during tryouts. Tryouts are tough, man, because a lot of times they're very short and you don't have a lot of time to make an impression. So you really have to be aggressive sometimes. Some people have this personality where they tend to take a back seat to people, and a lot of tryouts are dog eat dog, man. So you have to find a way in that short window of time to leave an impression on the coach that is holding the tryout. So, make an impact, don't hide is tip number 4. How can I, over this 2 to 3 day span, make a play and be in the coach's face consistently enough without being overbearing, where they remember me? You know what I mean? So this has to be in your head. You can't just float and be another guy in the pack. You know what I mean? So think before you go in, what do I have to do each day out to stick out in this coach's mind? So when he goes home and he looks at his list over, he goes, ooh, that number 6, ooh, that number 10. They were pinging it. They were swinging it. They were on the ball. They were vocal. Stuff like that. You know what I mean? So definitely, how can you make an impact? How can you be aggressive enough and not hide in the back of the line or hide out wide and just float the whole time? You know what I mean? Get on the ball. Make an impact. Get a goal. Make an assist. Go forward. Don't go backwards every play. You know what I mean? Don't take the back seat to those 2 or 3 guys that are at the tryout that are trying to do everything themselves. You know what I mean? Hold your own. You know what I mean? Make an impact, and definitely you have to make some plays. You can't just float. What do you have to lose, man? You're better off doing everything possible and being aggressive and not making it versus just floating through the tryout and kind of hiding. Because then, if you don't make it, you're always going to be wondering, what if? I didn't really do much. I kind of played it safe. I played the safe pass backwards every time. You know what I mean? I should have took that shot. You're better off being aggressive, trying to make an impact and not hiding and going for goal and going forward and trying to make plays and being vocal. You're better off doing that. That way you have no regrets. So my advice would be, do whatever it takes to make an impact and leave an impression in that coach's mind. Tip number 5, the mothership, confidence. Confidence is everything. It seems obvious, but tip number 5 is be confident. Everyone knows when you don't have confidence, you're a different player. You go watch someone play one day and they're pinging it and they're confident, like, oh my God, this kid is amazing. And then 3 days later, you go back and watch that same kid who is lacking confidence that day and you're like, who the heck is that guy? They're almost unrecognizable. Nothing changed. The same skill set. All of that is the same, but they were lacking confidence that day, so they look like a completely different person. So make sure you bring it come tryout day and make sure you are confident. That's when you are the best you, is when you have that confidence on lock. I have a banner in the gym. I think it says, confidence is a byproduct of hard work. So going into the tryout and leading up to it, if you know you truly put in the work and you are truly prepared, you're going to be confident. You know what I mean? But if you know you slacked off a little bit, you didn't train as hard or as long as you should have leading up to the tryout, you're going to have that self-doubt. And that's when that starts to creep in, and then you start second-guessing yourself a little bit. Maybe I didn't do enough, and then you might lack a little confidence. But if you put the work in 2, 3, 4 months before, and you're consistent, and you got a great camp going in, and you put in the work deep down, you will have that confidence. So in my opinion, confidence is a byproduct of hard work. So if you put in that hard work, you will be confident come tryout time. So put in the work, be prepared, make sure you are confident, and then just show everyone what you can do. So that's it, guys. A quick little video on how to ace your next tryout or trial. But again, I'm not saying anything groundbreaking. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, but sometimes you just need that reminder. So here I am reminding you on what needs to be done to make sure you ace that next tryout.